Hello, I'm sorry this video took forever, but we're gonna finally look at my Melodious deck. It's changed a little bit from the clip, but it's still pretty much what I run. So we're gonna look at that. We'll jump right in. I think it'd be easier just to clear the deck out and then go card by card instead of just like looking at what we have. But we can see what we have now, and then we're just gonna take out all the cards. Go fast, click fast, click fast. And then we'll go through them one by one. So we'll probably start with the Melodious cards first. Melodious. I'll get rid of these two. Bam. Okay, so the basics of the Melodious Diva deck is that they special summon each other, or they special summon off each other, and each time they're special summoned, that's where all their abilities come from. So one of the first cards we're gonna look at is Mozarta, the Melodious Maestra. Once per turn, you can special summon one light fairy type monster in your hand. You cannot special summon other monsters the turn you activate this effect, except for light monsters. So you're definitely gonna want to run two of her, and then Elegy, the Melodious Diva. Special summoned Melodious monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this card was special summoned, all fairy type monsters you control gain 300 attack. So essentially that means every Melodious monster on your field that was special summoned cannot be destroyed by card effects. So that means like Regeke, Darkhold, none of that can destroy your cards. Now, we used to use her, we don't really need her anymore, but she can be treated as two tributes, and that was it. And I think you can also do another normal summon after your first normal summon. So we don't really use her anymore. But Soprano, the Melodious Songstress, we use her now. We probably run her at 3 now. She's essentially a polymerization. So run her at 3. Probably the first card we're going to run at 3. When this card is special summoned, you can target one Melodious monster in your graveyard, except Soprano, the Melodious Songstress. Add it to your hand. You can only use this effect of Soprano, the Melodious Songstress once per turn. Once per turn, you can fusion summon one Melodious fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as a fusion material. So this is pretty much a polymerization. So we don't run polymerization anymore, and we kind of skip these cards. She's pretty much just brings the polymerization to your hand. You want to run 2 of these, just because if your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card. So you always want to be able to get a diva on the field. You always want to have at least 2 level 4 divas on your first draw. Or there are some cards that will get you a diva on the field. So we'll talk about those when we get there. So you want to run 2 of these at least. Maybe 3. But I think 2 is fine. And then we can go to her. Score, the Melodious Diva. She is essentially an honest. So whenever if she's in your hand and one of your divas battles each other or battles somebody, you can turn that damage into 0, or turn their attack into 0. So she's pretty much like an honest. So I'd run her at 2, because if you run honest in this deck, it's kind of a waste of space, because you only want to have divas. Because there's a lot of combos where you just need 2 divas, and having her in your hand too is good. Is good for the combo and good for the honest effect. So, but 2 is fine. Now, from the first boss monsters, Screwberta, the Melodious Maestra. It takes only 2 Melodious monsters. During either player's turn, you can target up to 3 cards in any graveyard, banish them, and if you do, this card gains 200 attack for each. That effect can only be used once when she's face up. So you want to run her at 3. She's really good for, let's say your opponent has a recycle deck, and they're constantly pulling cards out of their graveyard. So she's really good to just get rid of those cards. You can banish 3 cards, and then you also get some attack, 200 attack. You don't want to banish your cards, because you can recycle a lot of your cards with her, with Soprano, and then there's also another card. You can recycle cards from the graveyard. But we'll get to that when we get to it. She's over here somewhere. So now is the main card. This is the card that you will literally win duels with this card, because nobody knows how to read. Because nobody reads her effects. I have won duels on like the first turn because they attack this card, or they try to destroy it in any way, and then they can't, so they just give up. she has a lot of weaknesses. She has two weaknesses, two main weaknesses. But essentially, one Melodious Maestra, so you would want to use one. You would want to use her. You would want to use, where'd she go? You would want to use her, or her. That's how you get her on the field. I think there is another Melodious card. I just never used her. Yeah, I just never used her. She's not a Maestra, so never mind. Let's go back to this card. So, Bloom Diva, the Melodious Choir, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. If this card battles a special summon monster, after damage calculations, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the difference between the original attack. And if you do, then if that the original attack of that opponent's monster, and if this card and this card, and if you do, destroy that opponent's monster. So essentially, if you battle any special summon monster, no matter their attack, you can destroy them, and then you'll also do damage to them. And she cannot be destroyed by card effects or by battle, but she can still be targeted. So if she's on the field by herself, you can still use targeted effects that will bring her to the hand or banish her. Those are the two ways to get rid of her. There's three ways to get rid of her. Is banishment to the hand or tributing her. But the effect specifically has to say target. But no, actually not. But she's by herself, it doesn't have to say target. The only way where she cannot be targeted is if you bring Aria, which you always want to run 3 of those. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit. So Aria is your main card. Honestly your main card, because no matter what combo you do, you're going to want her on the field somewhere. While this special summon card is on the field, Melodious monsters you control cannot be targeted by card effects or be destroyed by battle. So Aria will protect your cards from being targeted, like, you know, it is Kunai with Chain, I think targets. There's random cards that will target, that will say specifically target, and those are the kind of cards that you'll get protected from. So we'll go to the next main card. Bloom Harmonist, the Melodious Composer. 2 fairy monsters. This card is Link Summon. You can discard 1 card. Special summon 2 Melodious monsters from your deck with different levels in the zones. And then you can activate her effect, which allows you to discard another card. And wait, no, I don't. Okay, I lied. I don't. Okay, there's no other effect. The other effect is whenever you battle during the damage step, your opponent can't activate cards. So she's really good. Run 3 of her. And first solo movement, run 3 of those. If you control no monster, special summon 1 level 4 or lower Melodious monster from your hand or deck. It's a really good card. If you don't have a Melodious monster in your hand, I recommend always special summoning Aria just for protection. But if you do have a Melodious monster like in your hand, I would special summon Soprana. Just because if you have one in your hand, any level 4 in your hand, and you special summon Soprana, you can start doing your combo immediately. And I'll start showing the combos off after we go through all the cards. I'll see if we have time. If not, we'll do it in a part 2. So give me 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry about that. My mouth was really dry. Okay, now we're going to go down to this card. Shopina, the Melodious Maestra. Once per turn, you can target 1 light fairy type monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You only want to run her at 1. You don't want to end up drawing 5 of the. You don't want to end up with a hand where you have all 5 of these, because you'll be useless. You won't be able to do anything. So you just want to run her at 1. She's good for 1 recycle, not really good for anything else. She's good for a discard. You're probably never going to put her on the field. Unless it's just to use her effect once and then throw her away. And now another card, Cannon, the Melodious Diva. You want to run 3 of these, because if you control a Melodious monster, you can special summon this card. And if she also can change the position, doesn't really matter. But you want to run 3 of these for the sole fact that you want to be able to have 2 divas on the field right away. Because you can 1 turn kill somebody with this deck if you just draw 2 divas. And then the next card, Sonata, Melodious Diva, the same thing. She can special summon off of divas, but when she special summons, all fairy type monsters you control gain 500 attack. So she's really good. She's really good for the one hit. If you can manage to get like 3 of them out with a boss monster, that's 1500 damage right there. And then, what the Melodious Divas, they don't build up a single one. All of them have attacks. So the highest you're ever probably going to get a single diva without like using honest is 50. Is 50 5,000 attack? Maybe 55 or maybe 5,500 attack. That's probably the highest you'll ever get, and that will be her, because you can get her to 3,000 with her abilities, and then you can get her to another 15 with her if you have 3 of these on the field, and then another 300 if you have her on the field. So 5,800 is probably the best you can, like the most you'll get one diva. But they all have high attack, so they're all gonna range in the 2,000s anyways. So you're gonna be able to do a one-turn kill with 5 divas and not just relying on one diva. So let's look at the last card. The last diva card is Ostinato. This card is just maybe more important than first solo movement. I have not got a third one yet because I just don't. I don't need one. You definitely need one. I recommend it if you have one. But I just don't want to get one right now because the deck's running fine. I think the deck's fine right now. And essentially what this does, if you control no monsters, fusion summon 1 Melodious monster from your extra deck using 2 monsters from your hand, deck, blah, blah, blah. During the end phase of this turn, destroy the fusion summon monster by this effect. And if you do, all the fusion materials that were used for its fusion summon are still in the graveyard, you can special summon all of them. So what you can do is you can use her. You can attack once, let her get destroyed, and bring all the pieces back. So you can get a good field. You can get an Aria, you can get an Elegy, you can get an unstoppable field. Or what you want to do is special summon Bloom Diva with Ostinato, because she cannot be destroyed by card effects. That includes Ostinato. So that means she'll stay on the field forever. This is an instant Bloom Diva. This is an instant Bloom Diva without doing anything else. This card is really important to have. I definitely want to run it at 3. I just need to get a third one. I don't want to waste my stuff yet. Now let's go look at some of the other cards. Magical Mallet. Yeah, there's probably way better draw power out there, but you don't want to be banning your cards. You don't want to be banishing your cards. You can recycle them. I think Magical Mallet is probably the most simple draw power you can get, because if you do end up drawing all 5 of these, and then next turn you draw a Magical Mallet, you can shuffle them all back in, and then pray you get a good card. So I think running 2 Magical Mallets is fine. You want to run Twin Twisters because you don't have any backfield clearing. You have backfield protection with her, and then her obviously, but she only does it for herself. So you have backfield protection, but you won't be able to destroy like their field card. You won't be able to destroy their their pendulum. So 2 Twin Twisters is fine. And now something that's gonna really throw people off is a terraforming. Run a terraforming because you want to run. I don't know how to spell sanctuary in this guy, so I'm gonna explain to you why. You want to run 2 of these because one of the biggest weaknesses with this deck is her. You cannot put her in defense mode because if you get Aria on the field and Elegy on the field, but you're not able to get a boss monster out, you're not able to get your monster's attack up there to destroy their monster, so all you can do is survive. All you can do is sit there in defense mode. You cannot put your Link monster in defense mode. So she's going to be taking damage and not dying the whole time. How do you solve that? Sanctuary in the Sky. Battle damage to the controller of a fairy type monster from a battle involving that monster becomes 0. So even if you can have every single one of your divas in attack mode, and they won't die and they will not take damage. The reason why it's very important, because even if your monsters are in defense mode, there are so many decks that do piercing damage. As long as you have Sanctuary in the Sky, not even the piercing damage will destroy you. So until you can get a combo to finish them, you can just wait it out. You can just literally wait for them to deck out. Because once you get once you get these two on the field, you're pretty much set for the rest of the game. Because there'll be only one thing that can destroy you, and that is a tribute summon. Is if they use the Spear of Ra and force and tribute all three of your cards. That's the only way that you can get that combo off the field realistically. And to be able to stop that, you want to run an Ash Blossom. Running that two. Maybe 3 if you don't have any cards. Running that 2 though. Now we want to get some damage. I don't know how to spell Regeke. Is that how you spell it? Here we go. Regeke. Regeke, it's Regeke. I don't know. It's a good card. But here's a little trick. If you can't afford a Regeke, a Dark Hole will do just as fine. Because, again, let me preface this, cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can Dark Hole yourself. If you do not have a Regeke, or if you're not drawing it, so just add 2 Dark Holes. Add 2 Dark Holes. You could Dark Hole yourself, and none of your cards will be destroyed. None of your divas will be destroyed, as long as they're a special summon. So, keep that in mind. And there's only a couple traps you want in here. This Call of the Haunted is really good for this deck, because if you have her on the field, you can use Call of the Haunted on any of your cards, and if they destroy the Call of the Haunted, the card will not go with it, because again, they cannot be destroyed by card effects. So Call of the Haunted is a very good basic trap to have. And then just a Solomon. Just throw in 2 Solomons, and there you go. That's the deck. That's the deck right there. That's the deck. That's where it's at right now. It could be better. It could be better. We could have better draw power. We could hopefully eventually get rid of Sanctuary in the Sky if we get a more consistent, thing. Probably add a Ghost Ogre, but I don't have a Ghost Ogre yet. So probably add Ghost Ogre along with Ash. Because there are some cards in here you can get rid of. Like if it's really slowing down and you're just not pulling the cards, you could probably put these go at 2, put these 2 at 2, and even her at I would keep her at 3 because she's your fusion, so you want to be able to recycle her at least. You want to be able to at least get 3 fusions out. So probably put these at 2 if anything. You could probably just straight up get rid of her if you really don't want her. I wouldn't recommend it though, because you're gonna need at least 3 of these to get her out. Unless you Ostionato. And definitely get a third Ostionato if you have one, if you can get one. I always run her at 2. She's fine at 2. And you could probably just completely get rid of this card, score, for something else. For, just a simple Ghost Ogre. But I'm running her now just because she's fine. She's fine where she is. So we're gonna take a short break, take a short pause. I'm gonna show you at least one combo before the video ends, and then if you guys want a part 2 on how to do the other combos, there's a lot of combos you can do. So let me know if you want a part 2. We're gonna take a short break. I'm gonna go try to do a PC battle, try to get a combo going. But yeah, we'll be right back. Thank you. All right. We got a really good hand. So I'm going to show you, I can show you a couple combos right now. First, you always want to go second. Yes, I know, going first, you're allowed to do everything. But I think going second is a lot better for this deck, because they will not be able to respond to your massive attack. So, this is a great hand to start with. We're not going to go for the Ostionato, because we have her in our hand. So, if you have a hand similar to this, if you have first solo movement and Ostionato, but no diva, then you want to go Ostionato. But if you have first solo movement, Ostionato, and a soprano, and especially a soprano, you want to go to the first solo movement. So you want to use that, and then you want to special summon. You want to special summon Aria, oh, I don't want to waste my Aria because I want to use her. I want to still be able to use her. So you can still do that, because now you can do this, You can special summon her. Now you can, we're not going to go for the fusion summon. We're going to go for the link summon. So always use her for the link summon. You only want to use her for the fusion summon after you link summon. You always want to link summon first because you want to guarantee a field. If you fusion summon without like any other cards on the field besides your fusion summon, yes, she's really strong, but it's a lot more risky. We're just going to get rid of terraforming because we already have our field spell. So this is what you want. Now what you want to do is you want to go for Soprano again. And now you want to go for her. This is the main combo. This is it. This is the main combo. We could probably beat him right now. Probably not. We're not going to have enough cards. But it's the main combo. So now what you want to do is activate her effect. So remember what her effect does? You can put this card back into your hand. Bam. And now you can activate her effect. What does her effect do? You can special summon from the hand. Bam. Now what you want to do is activate her effect again, which allows you to fusion summon. So this time, we're going to go for Screwberta because we have an Osteonato on the field. We do have Osteonato, so we're pretty much like, that's a safe play. I would not recommend going Screwberta if you do not have an Osteonato on the field because you do not want to risk them blocking it and now you having nothing. But if you have an Osteonato, go for the Screwberta, activate her effect. You want to banish their card first. Oh, it didn't. Oh, I forgot to ban. Okay, don't do what I did. Banish 3 cards. I don't know. It banished only one of them. And now you just want to go for the attack. So first you want to attack with Arya, because remember your cards cannot be destroyed. Okay, well he did that, so we're just gonna ignore that. I'm sorry. We're not all perfect. Okay, now we're just gonna go for that. See, if I wouldn't have messed it up, it would have done a lot more damage. Now we can end the turn. Let's see what are your response. Because where we're at right now, he cannot destroy any of these cards. He's gonna do damage to us. I didn't see the direct attack coming. He's gonna still do damage to us, but he cannot destroy any of our cards. And as long as we have Osteonato in our hand, we always have a backup. So don't get rid of Osteonato. So now we can just go straight up this and just end the game. Now we can just end the game because he has nothing. Bam. 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 And bam. There we go. 4 turns. See? It works. We took a little damage. We didn't see the direct attack coming. But there you go. That is my Melodious Diva deck for Master Duel 2022. We can still work on it. Let me know if you want a part 2. I can show you the rest of the combos. But that right there was probably the most basic combo you're gonna get. That's the main combo you're gonna want to keep recycling. But thank you. I'm sorry this video took so long. I will be streaming by the time this video uploads. So go check me out. Everything's in the description. Again, thank you so much. I'll see you guys later.